As game congestion has been an issue since the early 2000s, the top managers from the most valuable football leagues in the world have been constantly pointing out that the players are too exposed to risk factors that lead to the injuries. It is clear that the probability of players not recovering effectively from game to game has been decreasing in the past decade, especially in leagues as congested as the Premier League. Consequently, as the football industry continues to move forward and its revenue follows the same path, it is expected to generate a whopping 18.6 billion euros for the current season. Even now, in 2023, renowned figures of the best teams in the world, such as Virgil van Dijk, keep reiterating that players are not robots and their bodies will definitely break down if the amount of games keep increasing. Enter Zone7, a sports analytics company which utilizes data analysis to prevent injuries by identifying its patterns and predicting the injury risk factors in players. They do this based on their physical condition, training load, and performance metrics. Zone 7 is reducing the risk of injuries and improving player performance by providing teams with valuable insights and recommendations to prevent injuries. The competitive edge or the moat of Zone 7 is its exclusive database from elite teams such as Liverpool FC, LAFC, and Napoli, who are right now performing at the highest level. Zone 7 aids these top teams by using trustworthy modeling and recommendations to reduce injuries, and they also improve athlete performance by means of AI algorithms. To further understand the company and what their objectives are, let's listen to Sofia picking Andres and George's brain, who are representing Zone 7.
Good morning, everyone. For today's program, we have two representatives from Zone 7. I would like to introduce Mr. Andres Incapié and Mr. George Mann. Okay, guys, what kind of work does Zone 7 do?
So basically, Zone 7 is a data analysis company. It uses numbers to figure out how to prevent injuries by using AI to figure out the physical load on players and how to inform basically medical staff to give them advice on how to prevent such injuries. Now, how did Zone 7 figure out this? A study was conducted between 2001 and 2019, which showed a 0% reduction in muscle injuries in the in top division football, which was a crazy stat considering that medical technology has advanced substantially since 2001. So, what does this mean? Players who have been out injured, they have lost a lot of days throughout injuries, and this has cost several leagues a lot of money. As an example here, we can see that the Premier League lost players to injury for about 271 days, and they lost around £200,000, the average cost of a single injury for one player.
Then, any big names?
Yes, of course. We have been since 2017, and so far, flying has been extremely good. We have really positive experiences with Liverpool FC, which they had a record-breaking season. We also had Los Angeles FC, based in the US, which they won the MLS Cup last year. And now our most prominent case is Napoli, which is the leader in Serie A. So our sporting success is matching with the use of Zone 7 algorithm.
Okay, guys, and how do you see the company in the next future?
Well, right now we're proposing a shift in our strategy. So in the next 3 years, we definitely want to geographically scale our operations into the United States. And this will serve into intensifying our efforts into the country. As such, we have also defined some objectives we will be aiming to achieve. So we want to be part of at least 30% of the MLS teams on their daily operation. We also want to have partnerships with at least 50% of the West Coast MLS teams, which right now are 14 teams in total. As we are headquartered in Palo Alto, California, it will be extremely good for us to base our operations on that side of the MLS, on the West Coast. Therefore, we will also be reducing, we aim to reduce the 40% of the days lost on substantial injuries. As George was explaining at the beginning, this is a really good metric we have on our models. And finally, being able to work with a lot of teams in the MLS, we'll be able to triple our revenues in the next 3 years. That's what we are expecting in the near future for the company.
What do you make stand out from the competition?
So basically, what we're trying to do the same thing we've been doing all this time, but we're trying to do it in the MLS. So why the MLS exactly? Basically, it's the American market. Everyone wants to go into America. There we have an untapped market. A lot of teams are currently trying to adapt, trying to get into data analysis, but they're not quite there yet. And we see this as a potential opportunity to go in there and basically help them out and get them off injuries, reduce injuries by using our own data. And this is also a potential opportunity for us to be able to move into other sports, such as we move in more into the NBA, more into the NFL, more into baseball. We can use all this data and help us to expand the company further. And especially why the MLS again, they are able to use the technology necessary to get the data because they are very well funded. And this is invaluable for us to be able to continue our work.
We also offer unique databases in which we have worked a lot with top teams from European sports. So we have that competitive advantage over the other data analysis teams and companies which are based in the US. Additionally, our services include having more than 10,000 injury reports already analyzed, and they have been growing constantly with all the data we have gathered. Also, we have 200 million hours of training and game data, so our models are extremely robust and they're very good to the offering that the MLS needs.
Okay, and why the MLS is the first target?
So it was basically a choice between lower league divisions in England, but also South American teams. These two segments, they didn't have the specific medical groups, medical teams, let's say, and data analysis teams, which could work with our algorithms and use them optimally. So at the end of the day, we were able to make some decision matrix, scorecards were taken also into account in this decision process, and we ended up prioritizing the USA as the target geography we want to achieve and be a part of their operations.
Okay.
I mean, so far we know the size of the market, the target customers, the funding required to break through, our own resources, which will be key into breaking through in this market, and the expertise of the customers to use our AI products are definitely key for choosing the US and the MLS.
Okay, thank you, Andres. Okay, guys, and finally, what do you think are the challenges to expand the market to the USA?
Well, of course, as any business opportunity arises, there's a lot of trade-offs to this. So we already have a partner in the MLS market, which is LAFC, and this is probably our first step into the MLS. However, our main challenge is going to be that many of these MLS teams don't have a strong data analysis base, which is going to probably be hard to get to, and especially it's going to need a significant amount of investment. And that's gonna be the challenge in order to convince these MLS teams to do this investment, as well as probably the American mindset may be slightly different to that in Europe in terms of what they want from data analysis. But overall, we believe that we have the capabilities to do this. And finally, the biggest issue is probably going to be the revenue. As in the Premier League, we can see in this chart over here, the Premier League has significantly higher amounts of money available to them to be able to spend. As this chart shows the average salaries that a Premier League team spends compared to an MLS team. The Premier League is the blue one and the MLS teams are the orange. As you can see, the huge difference in that.
And finally, we definitely are convinced that our success stories that we have worked with European clubs, elite clubs all around the world, will definitely influence teams' success in the nearing years. So, as the US is going to grow, keep its growth around the soccer industry, while they will be hosting the 2026 World Cup, this industry will definitely take more importance to Americans, and that's our target.
Okay, thank you guys for this talk.